Once upon a time, in the woods just down the road, there lived a family of bears. They were happy and kind, and they were the type of bears to always try to see the best in everyone. If someone was rude to them, they would say, "That's okay, maybe they're having a bad day. We've all had one of those." Or if someone pushed in front of them at the shops, they would say, "That's okay, maybe there's been an emergency and they're in a terrible hurry." Always kind, always generous, and loved by everyone in the woods. They lived in a sweet cottage, just the three of them. Papa Bear and Mama Bear were carpenters, and they fashioned the house and everything in it to be just perfect for their little family. All of the furniture was made to measure for each of them, and every day when they came home and sat in their chairs or lay in their beds, they would heave a huge sigh of relief and think how lucky they were to have such a perfectly comfortable home. One sunny morning, Mama Bear made 3 delicious bowls of porridge in each of their special bowls. A small wooden bowl for Baby Bear, a medium-sized, pretty blue and white china bowl for Mama Bear, and a large tin bowl for Papa Bear. But when they came to eat their porridge, it was far too hot and nearly burned their mouths. They decided to go for a gentle stroll in the morning sunshine, so they put on their hats and stepped out into the woods. Not far away lived a little girl named Goldilocks. She was an obnoxious little oik. That means she was unpleasant, rude, and selfish, and she didn't care at all who she put out or offended. She was an all-round nasty little wretch, and all those who met her considered her to be generally bad news. Goldilocks happened to be strolling through the woods on this lovely sunny morning too. She'd been sent outside by her mother for refusing to help with the washing up. Straight away, she smelled the delicious porridge smell wafting through the air, and she followed it to the bear's cottage. And then Goldilocks just let herself in, with no concern for what sort of trouble it might get her in. She was pleased to see no one was home and strolled right into the kitchen without even taking her muddy boots off. She plonked herself down at the table and took a great big steaming spoonful of Mama Bear's bowl of porridge. "Yuck!" she declared rudely. "Too sweet!" and spat the porridge back into the bowl. Disgusting behaviour. She took a huge mouthful from Papa Bear's bowl. "Yuck!" She scrunched up her horrid little face. "Too salty!" and spat the porridge back into the bowl. She took a great big heaping spoonful from Baby Bear's bowl. "Mmm," she said, "just right." And she scoffed the lot, the greedy thing, even licking the bowl. When her belly was full, she fancied a little sit down and swaggered through to the living room. There, she found the 3 bears' chairs. Goldilocks tried Papa Bear's chair first. "Too hard," she said, and jumped off the chair, knocking it backwards onto the floor. She tried Baby Bear's chair next, and as she flopped down onto the chair, it broke and went crashing to the ground. "Ugh!" she cried. "What a horrible little chair!" Finally, she tried Mama Bear's chair. It was perfectly comfortable, and it was a very pretty pink colour with buttery soft blankets thrown over the back. Goldilocks made herself right at home, picking her snotty little nose and wiping it on the arm of the chair. What a horrid little girl. She felt a little bored and decided to head upstairs for a rest. She clomped up the stairs, leaving a trail of mud behind her. She lay down on Papa Bear's neatly made bed first. She couldn't get comfortable, and she tossed and turned until it was all messed up and muddy from her boots, which she still hadn't bothered to take off. Eventually, she rolled out of that bed. "Too hard," she said, and moved on to Mama Bear's bed. She flopped down onto it and nearly disappeared amongst all the cushions and soft blankets. "Ah!" she cried, and tried to wrestle her way back to solid ground again. "Too soft," she said, yet again leaving a muddy trail behind her. Lastly, she fell into Baby Bear's bed. She thought. If she were perfectly honest with herself, it was a little cramped, but it was the most comfortable of the 3, and she was rather tired, so she rolled over and went to sleep without another thought. Just then, the sweet, kind bear family returned from their walk, hungry and eager to eat their breakfast. They'd been thinking about their delicious steaming hot bowls of porridge since they left, and they were very excited. Straight away they noticed that something was wrong.
"Somebody's been eating my porridge,"
said Papa Bear. "Somebody's been eating mine too," said Mama Bear. "Somebody's eaten all of my porridge," said Baby Bear. The bear family looked at each other, and even though they were very upset and really rather hungry, they decided to think kind thoughts. This is very difficult, especially with empty tummies. Perhaps the person who ate our porridge was lost and scared and starving. We should think the best of them, they said. They decided to go and sit down and try to enjoy what was left of the morning, but when they saw their chairs, they were even more concerned.
"Someone has knocked over my chair," said Papa Bear.
"Someone has broken my chair altogether," said Baby Bear. "There is snot on my beautiful chair," said Mama Bear. The bears looked at each other and tried very, very hard to think kind thoughts, although this was becoming increasingly difficult. They were starting to feel little prickles of annoyance at their mysterious guest. Perhaps the person was unwell, they tried. Maybe they sneezed so hard that Papa Bear's chair fell and broke Baby Bear's chair, and perhaps some sneeze accidentally got onto Mama's chair. It sounded pretty far-fetched, but they really were doing their best. That's when they saw the trail of mud going up the stairs. They followed the trail, wondering what on earth they would find next.
"Someone has messed up my bed,"
said Papa Bear, feeling very cross. "Someone has messed up my bed," said Mama Bear, feeling even more cross. "Someone is literally still asleep in my bed," cried Baby Bear, feeling the most cross of them all. Just then, Goldilocks opened her eyes and let out a huge yawn. The bears looked at her, waiting to hear what possible explanation she could have. She took one look at the bears and said, "Ugh! What are you all staring at, smelly old weirdos?" The bears could hold it in no longer. They had tried and tried and tried to see the best in Goldilocks, but it seemed to them that there just wasn't any good in her at all. Their crossness built up inside them until it exploded out in a gigantic and ferocious roar. In a heartbeat, Goldilocks jumped from the bed, ran down the stairs and bolted out of the door and into the woods. Goldilocks went straight home to her mother and started frantically washing up as fast as she could. Her mother never knew why, but Goldilocks seemed to be a lot more pleasant and helpful from that day on. And the three bears made sure to always, always lock their door when they went for a stroll. The end. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this magical story. If you want to come along on more of our adventures, make sure you subscribe to our channel. There's so much more to be discovered. You can start right now by clicking on our channel and picking your next favourite tale. There really is something for everyone, from daring heroes and mischievous creatures to magical lands and secret wonders. And remember, by subscribing, you'll be the first to know when a brand new story is ready to be enjoyed. Let's go.